Welcome to a new episode of Smash Writing. I'm your host today, Paul. Justin has the week off. I mean, come on now. He just loves taking days off. No, but it's actually a scheduled day off. So I'm here today doing a solo episode. Now, Justin will be here. Justin will do his solo episode next week. I am scheduled off. I got some things I got to take care of on the personal front, but we'll be back together in this lovely studio in a couple weeks. Well, many of you, all of us know that HBO launched their streaming platform this past week. I believe it was Wednesday. So, I don't know how many of you guys did it, but I flocked out and downloaded it and paid for it. This whole episode today is going to be about HBO Max and the platform that it was released and the pros and the cons, at least through my eyes. So bear with me as we go through and discuss a couple little things that I think, it's so tough to explain because I'm still having mixed emotions about it. So let's get right down to basics here. So HBO Max came out midnight on the 27th, and the weeks leading up to it coming out was, it was going to be so huge. This was going to put all the streaming services to shame. But then the launch day came, and I got the promotional thing for the, I believe it's like a couple dollars cheaper for the first year. Then it goes up to $14.99, the regular price. If you pre-ordered it or whatever, which I did the night before. Didn't have a problem with that. They took their money out right away. So it was no, are they going to do this? Are they not? Yeah, they took their money out right off the bat. So then, obviously I didn't watch it that night. You didn't need to watch anything that night because with me and Justin, we watch a lot of movies, we review a lot of new movies. And the cool thing with a lot of these streaming services, on top of, at least for me, I have a cable bill, is that it just opens the door for us to do so much more. And that's why I added this streaming service onto what I already have. So the launch came, and I'm like, I'm super, super excited because, believe it or not, one of my favorite shows from HBO was Tales from the Crypt. Ran from 89 to like 96, I believe. And it was a hit show for HBO even during that time frame. And I think it has developed such a cult following that, for me, that disappointed me because it's not on there. And HBO, I know there's contract licensing disputes and all that, but if you're going to launch your own streaming platform, you need to have every show that made you this big. And I know there's advertising about the Snyder Cut, which, people are going to probably flock to HBO Max to see, and that's another discussion there. But there are some things, to me, I felt like it was just, I don't want to say HBO Max is horrible, because they do have some great movies, and we have to keep that in mind that there is a lot of stuff on there. But there are some things, to me, that frustrates me. One, and I didn't notice, maybe it was my fault because, in the field that we're doing, YouTube, podcasts, etc., you got to do your research. And shame on me for not doing my research, because I just figured that, hey, what the heck? It's going to be on every streaming device you could think of. No. It's not on Roku. It's not on Amazon. It's only on Apple devices, PlayStation, and Samsung. Let that sink in, because I'm about to throw some numbers at you, and it's crazy to think that HBO Max is not on at least Roku. Roku is, if you guys don't know, is the biggest streaming device company out there. They actually consist of nearly about 60% added on with, well, Amazon and Roku is the best numbers I could find. They actually they actually consist of 70% of the devices that people use to stream their streaming service from. Here in the office, I have an Amazon Fire Stick. Up in my bedroom, I have Roku, the newest one, 4K. In the living room at home, we have a Samsung. Most of the time when I like to do stuff for the show and all of that, I generally stick here. That's why it's set up for us to pretty much do whatever we want. So the day of, I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to check this out. Super excited. Turn on the TV, turn on the Amazon, nada. I'm like, okay, maybe it takes a day or two. So, okay, shoot up to the bedroom. For sure thought it was going to be on Roku. No. So now I'm like really annoyed, because I'm like thinking to myself, these are the biggest companies, even without doing research. Common sense. Amazon has grown to crazy levels. Roku, crazy levels. It all made sense. So I go downstairs, back down to our living room, turn it on there, and I'm like, oh, the app's on Samsung. I downloaded it, and I'm like, okay, cool. Here we go. So then I turn it on. Now, they flocked about all the shows that they're going to have. And like any streaming service, you're going to have a movie here one day, and then the next month it's not going to be here. Some shows forever on there or whatever. They do have great content. I can't stress enough, because I don't want to seem like I'm bashing them. I just think, in my honest opinion, they were, one, not ready, and two, they overhyped. They preached 10,000 hours of content, of great content, and rightfully so. There are, like I said, some great stuff on there. Just looking at shows that I love from now and before. Ballers, starring The Rock, obviously. Westworld, Game of Thrones, stuff like that. Perfectly fine. Then they have other shows that they got contracts for, or from their TV networks, because HBO is owned by AT&T and AT&T is owned by Warner Media, or vice versa. One of those two. It's like just a chain on top of a chain of who owns HBO. So you get the point. They have a hub. They have HBO. They have Cartoon Network. They have Adult Swim. All those little hubs, DC. Now, we do have subscriptions to the DC streaming service. We do have access to Amazon streaming services. We have a lot of accesses to most of the platforms out there. But it would be nice to start cost efficient and cutting them down. So when HBO advertised DC being on their stuff, I thought it would literally just like take that app and like, okay, that's for the hardcore DC fans. But if you're an HBO where you like all the movies and you're willing to pay the price, put it all in one. Not the case. It's it's a bunch of their live action movies, great. Some of their animation shows, great. Not too many good shows from Cartoon Network. Adult Swim, it's a hit and miss as well. You're not going to find some of the very, very popular ones. Once again, I get it. It's contract. You just got to deal with it. Then you move on to, they have TCM, Turner's Movie, TMC, something like that. That's a great feature. I mean, I can't really complain from the list of movies I've seen on there. But once again, you take that and that's off to the side. The rest of the content hubs that they have just doesn't excite me. Even people recently, before I started recording this video and podcast, one of the things that HBO Max was promoting was they were going to have a Friends reunion. To me, don't understand why everybody loves Friends. Wasn't funny. Hasn't been funny. But that's my opinion. So, obviously because of what's been going on, and glad we're all coming out of it, they couldn't do the reunion. Bummer, but I ain't losing any sleep over it. So, take that out of thing. The show Joey, which was a spinoff. Many of you don't know, I think it was only 1 or 2 seasons, and it was just fell down. The character of Joey is funny when he's with his friends, but it's like if you do it by yourself, you're not so funny. But fans, because when you have like a universe, you want all the shows to tie into it, and fans wanted, I guess, Joey. HBO spokesperson said they put on content of what the fans demand. Does anybody not miss Tales from the Crypt? Or is it just me? Come on, that show was awesome. I feel like if you're going to put the streaming service out there, you should have all your content from day 1 till day 6,000. Because people like me, I was born in 89. If there's a show in 83 that I never got to watch live, but I seen it on a rerun, I'm like, oh, this is a really cool show. Another popular show that they have on there is Impractical Jokers. Big fan of them. Love you guys. But then so I'm like, all right, let's see what they have. Seasons 1 through 4. Problem is, they just finished their 8th season. Where's the other 300 some episodes, or whatever the other 100 episodes? They're missing half of the series. Why? So now you have half the shows aren't there that you promised. You do not have your streaming service on the major players in the platform. And, then there's also the price. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes because I'm like, here's the things I want to discuss. The pricing to me is a bit high. When they were promoting it, I thought it would be, well worth the price. Truth is, it's not. For $14.99 a month, you're kind of robbing yourself. If it was more on Netflix's level of, in that $9 to $12 range where pretty much all the streaming services are really ranking, definitely when it comes to ad-free stuff. Me personally, I like watching ads. It's like watching commercials. So it is what it is. But the pricing to me, when you compare it to Disney Plus, which is $6.99, even with the Disney Plus bundle, which is only $12.99. You get ESPN Plus and you get Hulu minus the live stuff, which I have a full-time job, so I don't really care about live TV anymore, except for like sports. And then you got ESPN Plus, which is kind of like I haven't signed up for the bundle yet, but it's like I feel like ESPN Plus is just nothing more than a throw-in for the bundle just to make it look nice because Disney, owns or partially owns all the whole thing. Apple, have not signed up for Apple. It's $4.99 a month. Haven't really even checked it out to want to review it, but soon I will. Hulu by itself is like $6, Netflix is like $10. So once again, in the Peacock, which is free, the premium version is free for Comcast users or Xfinity, depending on what area you're in. That's like awesome. I haven't really checked it out. We have Comcast here at the house. So, yeah. So once again, you're looking at all these prices and you just want HBO to give us more content for the price. And once again, this is very early on, and I don't want to say that it's just not worth it, but I would just probably fall back and wait like a month or two if you're on a budget, because it's really not worth, sadly, for $15. They would lower it, and as of like today, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Now, like I said, it's still early on in the launch. We're not even a week into it. But from my understanding, the numbers for like first day subscriptions is just so low that it's not funny. They spent all these weeks and months hyping it up, and they just fell flat. When you're going up against Netflix, who, they lost a great amount of content when Disney's had started their streaming services, which we all knew was going to happen. But the last couple of years, they've been so good at making their own content and bringing in stuff that they lose, to replace it. Friends left, obviously, go figure why they left. And it was like, oh, this is going to be the end of Netflix. Well, Netflix went out and got the contract for another former popular show, and that was Seinfeld. So, and then, like I said, they still have great content with movies and stuff like that. So they're doing okay. Yeah, but with recent launches of all these streaming services, HBO is like down near the bottom. Once again, I think you have to factor in two things. Maybe even three. The price. 15, I just think is still too high. And then the platforms, the devices that it's on, it's not reaching everybody. And that's, to me, I think is maybe the biggest problem. And three, just the content. Some of the stuff is just not there. And it's going to hurt. HBO Max will still be around. And I do think, and I at least hope, that they get better with everything that is going on. I hope they do listen to the outcries and put shows and stuff like that. As much as I hate Friends, a lot of people love it. So you have to add Joey. No matter if it's one season, 2 episodes, 20 episodes, you have to add it. And that's just kind of where we are at. So that's my review, honestly, on the whole thing regarding HBO Max. It's overhyped right now. It's not quite worth the price. You want to watch some more recent movies, then maybe it is worth it to you. But in my personal opinion, I'm going to keep it because of what we do. But in my personal opinion, it's just not worth $15 a month. I said I'm on the promotional deal, so it's like $12, $3, whatever. But that, to me, that sums it up. If you want to spend the money, go ahead. I don't know how much you want to factor in the math of your cable bill if you just had HBO there on through your cable bill. or etc. like that. You have to honestly sit back and do the math yourself to realize if this HBO Max is honestly worth it. Well, guys, that is all the time that I have for this week. Justin will be doing his solo episode. Like I said, schedule time off. And then we'll be back in the studio together. Take care.